I'm Elliot.
And I'm Joanne.
We're here to talk about how to ride your bike safely.
Hello, my name's Josh.
Hi, and I'm Sam.
Our aim today is to highlight the importance of wearing the correct cycle safety equipment.
Hi, my name is Mike Harry from Enterprise Cycles in Neyland.
Is there any special clothing you should wear while cycling?
Yes, you should always wear a pair of gloves that fit tightly so that to protect your hand should you fall off and to ease the pressure on your hand. And if you intend riding in the dark, some sort of high visibility, whether it be a high visibility jacket or in this case a Sam Brown that you wear around you.
But what is the most important thing that you should wear to be safe?
By far the most important is a helmet, and that it fits properly. That is, that it's worn in correctly like that, and that it's tight on the head and that the straps are tight. Many people wear helmets much too loose, far too back on the head, and if you do fall off and hit it, buy a new one. If you don't wear anything else, safety wise, you should always wear a helmet.
What kind of equipment do you need to put onto the actual bike?
You should have a bell, and you should have some sort of lighting system. Even if you don't intend going out in the dark, you could go out round your mate's house, end up being later than you thought. For safety reasons, you should always have lights in case you get caught.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Meg. That was really useful information. On increasingly more crowded roads, cyclists are at risk of accidents because they don't have the right protective kit on or are simply not seen by motorists.
Meet Dangerous Donna. Donna is a class joker. Look closely at what Dangerous Donna is doing, wearing and behaving. Dangerous Donna thinks she's cool riding without a helmet. Dangerous Donna thinks she's cool performing silly stunts wherever she goes. Dangerous Donna loses control of her bike and falls off. Oh no! What will happen to Dangerous Donna now? Dangerous Donna ends up in hospital with a head injury, all because she was too cool to wear the correct safety equipment.
Meet Safe Steve. Safe Steve wears a properly fitted helmet. Safe Steve wears a reflective strip. He has carefully checked his tyres and brakes. Safe Steve arrives at school all in one piece.
So who do you think is the coolest now?
Just remember, don't be a dangerous Donna.
Always cycle safely, like Safe Steve.
So, let's quickly recap.
Wearing a bicycle helmet reduces the risk of head injury by 63% and loss of consciousness by 86%.
Every year in this country, over 16,000 cyclists are killed or injured during road accidents.
In 20 out of 28 cases involving nighttime riding, a bicycle with no lighting was in a collision with a motor vehicle.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
This part of the film is about how to ride safely on the road. You listening?
Yeah.
Are you?
Hello, we're 7B, and we're going to give you some tips on safe cycling.
First, let's check our bikes. It's time for the ABC check. A, air.
Check your tyres for air. Make sure you don't have any punctures.
B, brakes. Make sure your brakes work before cycling. If stiff, loosen them at the screw. To test them, move your bike forward and pull brakes.
C, chains. Your chain must flow fluently in a circle. When cycling, don't wear trousers with flares or long skirts as they can get caught up in the chain.
Next is the helmet. Make sure it is the right size for your head. It should be comfortable and you should be able to fit 2 fingers between the strap and chin.
If cycling in the dark, check your lights are working. You should have a white light at the front and a clear red light at the back.
Now let's look at some safe cycling reflective clothing. Ashley's wearing a sensible reflective jacket, whereas Sophie is more difficult to see as she is all in black.
My name is John Goby. I'm the County Road Safety Officer and I'm responsible for safe cycling around the county. It would be good for children to check their bicycles, make sure they're safe to ride, know where they're riding, plan their routes and to be aware of traffic round about them all the time. Children can use the token crossing that is very popular now, which is designed for both pedestrians and cyclists. You need to have obviously the correct lights on your bicycle, the white light at the front, the red light at the back, and be aware of the night time and where you're going. I'd rather people cycled in the daytime and try to not to cycle too much at night. I mean, you need to be aware of all road users round about us and to be observant, looking behind, checking traffic and being safe and being responsible.
Now you're ready to cycle. If cycling on the road, indicate with hands. Remember, you have to abide by the road rules because you share the road with the cars. So, when a red light is on, you stop. When a green light is on, you can go.
Remember, cars and other road users can't read your mind. Therefore, you have to indicate what you intended to do. Always use hand signals to show if you're planning to turn left or right. To turn right, stretch out your right arm and check over your shoulder to make sure there are no cars. If it is safe to do so, move over towards the centre of the road with your arm outstretched. Be sure to wait for oncoming cars before you go ahead with the turn.
To turn left, stretch out your left arm to indicate that you are planning to go left. If you use the ABC check and the correct hand signals when riding your bikes, you can have safe, happy travelling.
So what's next?
Now we're going to look at some of the kit you need to keep safe.
Hi, I'm Evan.
And I'm Yoni.
And we're here to give you the top 10 tips for cycle safety. Approximately 2,500 people are killed or seriously injured in cycle accidents in the UK every year.
In 2008, 417 child cyclists were killed or injured.
So you see how important it is for us to cycle safely.
You don't want it to be you.
So what can we do to stay safe? Our reporters Bethan and Emily took time out to speak to Rob Ellis about cycle safety.
Can you describe what a good bike maintenance is?
Yes, if you look at this particular bike, it's got brakes which are new on it. It's also got new tyres that are pumped up to the correct pressure. The chain is well lubricated, so it's less likely to come off the crank or the cassette at the back. And this bike goes in for a service every 600 miles, so it has the brake cables changed at the same time.
What should you wear when cycling?
Similar equipment to what I'm wearing now. You need a reasonably tight shirt that's bright so that traffic can see you. You definitely need a helmet. As you can see from this particular helmet, it's got a big mark on it, a dent where I come off the bike and I bang my head on the ground doing about 30 miles an hour. Other things you need to wear are glasses, because you get lots of flies and stones that are flicked up on the road, and also gloves. If you're cycling for a long time, your hands will get very sore.
We all know it's important to keep our hands on the handlebars, but what is the exception to take your hands off the handlebars?
The only time you take your hands off the handlebars is if you're indicating to traffic that you're turning left or right, or if you're reaching down to the bottle cage to take a drink out of the cage.
What's the most important thing to remember when cycling on the road?
The most important thing to remember is to be very, very wary of traffic on the road. Okay, because you're very small on a bike and often cars don't see you, so you have to be extra vigilant.
Thank you for taking time out this afternoon to talk to us.
Thank you.
Thanks to Emily and Bethan for that report.
Lots of interesting facts there, so let's recap.
Always wear a helmet.
Stick to the rules of the road.
Concentrate. Never take your eyes off the road.
Always use cycle lanes where possible.
If you are turning a corner, use a clear hand signal. Other drivers can't read your mind.
Check your bike is in good order. Are your brakes and lights working?
Wear bright clothing, or even better, a reflective band. So, which would you say was the most important?
Well, I'd say they're all important, but if there's one thing that would make a difference, it's this. Helmets. They might just save your life.
Elliot, I've seen the state of your bike. This film's aimed at you.
What?
Bike maintenance.
Mr. Owen. How did you get here?
Well, you had a lucky escape then, Damien. Let's just have a look and see what was with this bike of yours. So, first thing is, look at the tyre, where it comes into contact with the floor. Just grab hold of that tyre and see how much air is in it. Give it a squeeze. That tyre needs some air in it. That could have been one of the reasons that you had a problem. I'm going to work my way up. I've got the hub there on the wheel, and if I spin that wheel, I can see whether I've got any buckles quickly and easily. That seems pretty good to me. I've already seen a problem that you've got there. There's your major problem. The front brake does all your stopping on the bike, and that one there is doing nothing at all. It's not connected to the cable. So you're pulling on that brake lever, and nothing's happening at all. You've got a set of bearings in here, and these are what controls the steering on your bike, but also keeps the front wheel stable. So, do they feel safe and secure? Well, if I give them a bit of a rock, they seem pretty solid to me. Everything's got to be nice and firm here, making sure that there's no movement in any of those levers or anything that you're using, and there's no movement. Well, there we go. That's probably the major cause of your accident, major looseness in your handlebars. Well, you've got some motion going on here that's not being transferred to a chain because your chain's come off, so we have to sort that out straight away. That's a 2-second job. The saddle. Let's just have a look at the saddle. This bike has got a lot of problems with it, and the saddle is another contributing factor to your accident, I reckon. That's good and loose. We can tighten that up, take 2 seconds. So let's put this right. There you go, Damien. Good as new.
Now we're going to look at cycling and the laws.
Laws? I thought you only had laws for cars.
Well, let's take a look.
We are here to look at the rules of the roads for cyclists.
Rules? You don't have rules when you're on a bike?
Yes, you do. There are a lot of laws that apply to cyclists and their bikes. Shall we find out more?
I think we better.
Stop!
So what has he done wrong?
Well, first of all, he's cycling on the pavement, which is against the law. He shouldn't be cycling on a pavement which is for pedestrians only. Secondly, I'm rather concerned about the safety of his bicycle, not only for him but for other road users. He's got no reflectors on the right, he's got no brakes either, therefore he will have trouble stopping and people will have a problem seeing him. So he's committed quite a few offences here.
What is the consequence?
Well, he's committed an offence, what we would consider of careless cycling, okay? And because he's under 16, what we would do is summons him to court for this offence. And that could involve the magistrates fining him anything up to £5,000. Stop!
Look at my bike now. It's got lights, reflectors, brakes, gears, and it's got reflectors on the back as well, and my chain's not rusty.
Fantastic. What else are you wearing that's different this time?
Oh yeah, I got a helmet on and I got reflective clothes.
Well, that's
Jacket and all.
fantastic. You're doing all the right things now, and you'll be nice and safe when you're on the road. Remember, cycling on the road this time, not on the footpath, okay? But you're doing all the right things. I'm really pleased to see that. So, well done. Make sure you have a safe ride home, okay?
Okay.
Take care.
That's great. I know what the laws are now.
Shall we have a recap, just in case?
Please.
At night or in poor light, your bike must have white front and red rear lights lit.
Your bike must be fitted with a red rear reflector and amber pedal reflectors.
Both brakes must be working effectively.
You must obey all road signs and traffic lights.
And you must keep to the correct side of the cycle path.
What about the must not?
Alright, I was getting to that. You mustn't cycle on the pavement.
Or carry a passenger.
It's against the law to ride in a dangerous, careless or inconsiderate way. We've got it, but have you got it?
We all know that cycling is good for us. Let's find out how.
Today, we're going to inform you about how cycling can benefit your health.
Did you know that obesity is costing the NHS more than £6.5 billion a year, and unhealthy and overweight children are becoming more and more common in schools today?
Cycling is a great activity for both children and adults, and is a fantastic way to build up your muscles and to get lots of exercise.
Cycling to school every day rather than driving to school will improve your general fitness.
I've been a lifestyle coach in London for 3 years, and then I moved back here in January last year, and I've been doing it for 18 months in Pembrokeshire.
What does a lifestyle coach do?
I work on a health and wellbeing project in Pembrokeshire, and my job is to help support, motivate and advise people on getting healthier, eating better foods and taking more physical activity in their own homes.
Does cycling specifically help people our age?
Cycling is fantastic for people your age because you can do it with your family and your friends, and it's a great way of getting fit.
Does cycling reduce the risk of diseases?
Yes, definitely. Cycling is brilliant because it makes your heart and your lungs really strong.
Can anybody cycle?
Yes, most definitely. As long as you're safe and as long as you've got a bicycle, then anybody can cycle. And the more you practice, the better you get at it and the more fun it is. The more you do something in anything, the better you get at it. But your body responds the more you do something to it. So your muscles get stronger, your bones get stronger, and your heart gets stronger.
There's so many different bikes.
But how can we choose?
Hello, my name's Nathan.
And my name is Phoebe. We're looking into the different types of bikes that kids of our age enjoy most.
There are loads of different types of bikes and we're going to concentrate on two.
Elliot's BMX
and Stephen's mountain bike. Steve, bring your bike over here. What's the best thing about your mountain bike?
It's easy to handle, I feel safe on it, and it's a good ride.
What part of the bikes need most regular attention?
The brakes, the tyres, the chain and the gears.
Are there any other special features?
A mountain bike is a bicycle correct for off-road cycling. I can go on dirt tracks, log roads and mountain paths.
If you enjoy more cycling rides, maybe a BMX is for you.
There are different types of BMX tricks you can try out. The bar spin. The aim of this trick is to spin your handlebars around while you
are still riding and controlling your bike.
You can have loads of fun.
So before you buy,
give them a try!
What type of bike is this, Mike?
This is a mountain bike. This is suitable for taking off-road as opposed to one that looks like a mountain bike. Basically, you've got 27 speed hydraulic disc brakes. You can a fork that locks out by pushing that, goes solid. You've got a suspension which you can adjust quite a bit, and a very strong frame, very strong wheels. So this is a true mountain bike.
what kind of bike is this then, Mike?
This is a road bike.
What makes it a road bike?
Basically the size of the wheels, the style, obviously you've got the drop handlebars. This particular one is a carbon fibre bike. It's very light. It's got features there which actually make it quite comfortable. The gearing, so this is quite a good standard of road bike. You could pay a lot less, you could pay a lot more. Carbon fibre is a very fashionable material at the moment, but like everything else, when it becomes fashionable, there's many cheap copies. So if you want to buy a carbon fibre bike, make sure you buy one that is a good quality carbon fibre, because there's some pretty awful bikes out there at the moment.
What type of bike is this, Mike?
This is a jump bike.
What makes it a jump bike?
Basically, it's very strong. It's in this case steel. You've got single speed, low gears, strong wheels. Similar in a way to a BMX. It's the sort of bike a lot of kids like. They're just tooling about the streets and just generally playing around. But I've got to say, as a bike shop, they're not indestructible, which a lot of kids seem to think they are.
Pembrokeshire is such a beautiful county. How do we know where to ride?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
Today our class is going to talk to you about cycling in Pembrokeshire.
There are many different cycling paths in Pembrokeshire, whatever your age or ability. Many of the cycle paths take advantage of the wonderful scenery that Pembrokeshire has to offer, such as the beautiful coastline and woodlands.
If you are young and active, why not try the Llys mountain bike trail? You can do the whole 1.5 miles or just a bit of it. Beware, some parts are not for the faint-hearted.
Whatever age you are, there are still many places in Pembrokeshire where you can enjoy cycling. For example, why not try the traffic-free Brunel Trail?
Whilst more experienced cyclists who like a challenge could try the trail in Suchfant near Penrhart. This has a steep ascent and so is suitable if you're not short of stamina.
Finally, there are lots of places you can enjoy as a whole family. One of these places is Stack Rocks, as it is easy and mostly level with only minor roads.
Today, Paul Smith, the Officer for Cycling in Pembrokeshire, is here with us to give us some more information about cycling in Pembrokeshire.
Well, you can cycle all over the place. It's possible to cycle, for instance, from Pembroke all the way to Haverfordwest or to Milford Haven. I've done all of them lots and lots of times. In fact, I cycle Neyland to Haverfordwest most mornings and then home again after work. Cycling on the road needs different skills, whereas on the cycle path you can take it easy, look at the scenery, watch the birds, and get used to bike handling skills before you actually start dealing with the traffic. But in most cases, Pembrokeshire is a very safe place to cycle anyway.
Now let's take a look at cycling and the environment.
Cycling is not only good for us, it's also good for the world we live in.
So why don't we get out of the car and onto our bikes?
Shall we find out more?
Let's.
Cycling is better than using a car because it uses fewer unsustainable resources.
If more of us rode our bikes to school, the planet's natural resources would last longer.
If more of us used bikes to get where we want to go, there would be less hold-ups in towns and cities.
Cycling is a low-carbon way to travel.
And bikes are so much more environmentally friendly. Did you know Parts required to build one car could build over 100 bikes.
There's no dirty fumes ruining the quality of the air with bikes. And whereas a cyclist gets energy from food eaten, a car needs petrol. On the equivalent energy of 1 gallon of petrol, a cyclist can travel an incredible 960 miles.
Amazing. But how about we talk to an expert who'll know even more?
Lisa Fawn from Sustrans, she knows all about the subject.
Why is cycling good for the environment?
Well, the reality is that transport, and in particular kind of road transport and cars and taxis and vans, are one of the biggest causes of CO2 being released into the atmosphere, so carbon dioxide. And that's one of the most kind of dangerous greenhouse gas emissions, and that's causing real problems for our environment.
What are your aims of your charity, Sustrans?
So Sustrans essentially is about providing practical and innovative solutions to get people to take more sustainable forms of transport, so public transport, but also riding a bike or taking a walk. And like Sustrans, the organisation, is behind a number of really exciting projects that you might have heard of, like the National Cycle Network, which is the little blue signs that you see everywhere showing you where you can cycle your bike safely. And also things like Bike It, where we work with primary schools and really help to raise the number of young people that are kind of cycling to school.
Let's make this world a cleaner and better place.
We can all make a difference.